Okay, so yeah, so welcome back to part two. This is gonna be like wrapping up my MEPS, and then I got a couple more things to tell you guys. So yeah, so after the blood drawn, you go, they finish up your paperwork, they take it, and then you go and you tell your liaison, hey, I'm done, and he's like, okay, take this folder and go like get your fingerprints taken and stuff like that. So yeah, I go and you have to have like an interview with I don't know who it was. It was some guy. You have to have like a moral interview. Like he asked me like, you know, you sure you're doing this like on your no like nobody told you to do this and you're not doing it like to stay out of jail or anything. I was like, nope, not gonna happen. He's like, okay, I got a couple personal questions. And he's like, if you were to die, like, who do you want to make your burial arrangements? And that was kind of like that caught me off guard. That kind of scared me a little bit. Like I already know like I'm probably gonna get deployed, and I already know that I'd take the chance of getting killed and everything. And I don't have a problem doing that. I'm serving my country for a reason. I'm not going to hold somebody's hand, or I don't want to do that. And I'm taking that risk, and I don't have a problem doing that. So I was like, I just told my mom, and he's like, okay, in case that happens, who do you want, like, your life insurance, your, who do you want your last paycheck to go to? And I was just like, my mom. And then, he had to ask you, like, your mother's full name, place of birth, like, birthday, current address, phone number. I had to do that for, my mother, my stepfather, and my real father. And, yeah, and then pretty much he gives you the okay, and then you go out with whoever it can be a guy or girl, and then they do like legit fingerprints. Like the whole time you're there, you're gonna be given like electronic fingerprints. Like there's just a little button you have to like press, and it scans your fingerprint real quick, and that just like tracks your movement throughout the whole phase and make sure you're with the right stuff, and you don't have somebody else's papers or anything. And then yeah, this was like computerized, like in detail of every aspect of your fingerprint and everything. So the government has you in their database because that's the first time I've ever been like completely fingerprinted and everything. So that took a little while because they have to get it like perfect. So sometimes you have to like move it weird because some of your fingerprints will have like a whorl kind of fingerprint, and you have to have like a certain part of it, and sometimes that takes up your whole finger, and so you have to get your whole finger. And sometimes I saw a guy, it took him 4 tries, and each try was like 20 minutes long. I'm trying to just get his fingerprints, and he just couldn't get it. And he couldn't get it, and he had to go wash his hands with cold water like 6 times, and it was crazy. Like some people can't do it, but it took me like 10 minutes. It was no big deal. And then yeah, after that he gives all your papers to your liaison, and your liaison checks over everything, and then he gives you some free time, like go get something to eat, something to snack on. So you go. They have really good food at the pubs too, and yeah. So you go. I went and ate. I went, sat down, watched some Dish Network for a little bit, and then he called me back, and he was like, "Okay, do you have any jobs that you're interested in?" I'm like, "Air traffic control." So he's like, "Okay," and I don't know if you're in high school, like if you still have to go through your senior year, you pick 5 jobs and then one area aptitude. But if you're outside of high school after you graduate and everything, you have to pick 9 jobs, and then your one area of aptitude. And I don't know why they do that. It was kind of confusing. And then so I had to pick my 9 jobs. I picked like it was air traffic control, security forces, space system operations, geospatial intelligence analyst, firefighter. I'd picked administration as my area, but I'm gonna elaborate on that later for because I did a wrong, completely wrong, and kind of screwed me up. And there was like pharmacy. I wanted to put a health job down, so I put a pharmacy technician on there. Um, and there's a couple other jobs that odds and ends, like in missile maintenance. I know I had a missile maintenance on there, like working with would have worked with NASA back in the day, but NASA's kind of debunked now. Um, yeah. So then, he goes over your contract with you. You make sure you're signing up for everything. Like, okay, you're signing up to be an E1 because I didn't have enough college credits. I had like two less than college credits than what I needed to be an E2. Kind of pissed me off, but I'm over it. Yeah, so an E1, you don't pick a job, like a specific job that day for the Air Force, and you won't get a ship date that day at MEPS. When you go back to your recruiter's office, that's a different story, but you won't get a ship date that day. And then, yeah, make sure you pay attention to every little detail in the contract because you don't want to be signing up for something you don't know. Like, if somebody told you that you're going in as E2 and it says on the paper, you're going in as E1, you better bring that up to someone because once you sign that contract, you can't change it. So you'd be screwed in the A, effed in the A, screwed in the A, whatever. Yeah. So just make sure you know what you're getting yourself into with your contract, and you sign that, and then what happened after that? You go and you wait to swear in and everything. That was kind of cool. You go and sit down and you tell them, okay, I'm ready to swear in. So you have to wait until there's enough people to go. Like I was with three other guys. It was me, another Air Force guy, Marine, and an Army guy. I think it was Army or National Guard, one of the two. But all three of them were in high school. Like they still had their senior years to get through. So I was like, well, what the hell? It's freaking weird. Like there's so many high schoolers there, but it's good that people are getting there young. Dolphin shirt, I love this. I got it today. It's Nike. That's why it says just do it. Uh, um, yeah. So you swear in. There was like army captain that did my oath, and she went in it. She's like, oh, John Gregory, do hereby I affirm. I don't believe in God, so I did affirm. And then she's like, holy shit, I forgot what's next. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? You do this like 20 times a day. And she's like, yeah, I've done it like 17 times a day. I just completely forgot what's going on. So I was like, what the hell is this lady doing? And so yeah, she forgot and she had to think about it a second. And she was like, oh, alright, whatever, do now affirm. And I was like, it went pretty smoothly after that, so that was good. But yeah, if you swear, like do hereby swear to do it, then that means like obviously you're like Christian and stuff. So the last line of the oath is gonna be, "So help me God." But like I'm not religious. I don't have a religion. So at the beginning I said, "Do hereby affirm," and then I just omitted the last line, "So help me God," and she had me like, "So help me." So I was like, might as well just leave it out if you're gonna do that. And yep. So that's what happened. And I'm probably gonna make a third video, so this isn't too long, because I have a lot of information. So watch part 3 now.